Andrew Jeune for the Asian Racing Report here at Sha Tin with chief journalist from the Asian Racing Report in Dave Morgan. Dave, to talk about the Longines Hong Kong sprints, and probably the best place to start is last season's Champion Sprinter here in Hong Kong in Wellington, but a little bit to prove off his last start, or not?
Well, I mean, his last start was nowhere near his best form, and we found out afterwards that he did have that problem, the sacroiliac region, which seems to be the pelvis, spine region, and the muscular whatever. I'm no expert. The chiropractor's been doing work on him. Richard Gibson seems very confident that the horse is back, that he was just a little bit soft. There was an issue, but he's a little bit soft, and he's doing really well according to Richard Gibson.
Yeah, Richard made a nice analogy during World Cup month as well. He's a little bit like maybe Ronaldo. He gets a knock and he might just play on it a little bit more than he needs to. So he's 100% happy with the horse coming into the race. And on last year's form, certainly as far as the Hong Kong sprinters were concerned, he was just a little bit better than they were.
Yeah, he was. I mean, his rating says he's the best of the Hong Kong sprinters. He's got the 3 Group 1 wins around here. He's the track expert. He's the local champion sprinter, and he put together. I should point out, I mentioned it in a story the other day, that he did put together a very fast gallop, the second fastest gallop he's done since he's been racing. So it didn't affect him then. If he's okay again on Sunday and doesn't affect him, he's the one they have to beat.
Of course, the jockey who's on board for those 3 Group 1s was Alexi Bedell. Had a terrible fall here a few weeks ago, so he misses this one out, but what a sub to bring in, Ryan Moore.
Yeah, I mean, outstanding jockey. There's not much to say about Ryan Moore other than he is one of the world's very best jockeys. He'll come in, he'll ride his race, and if the horse is good enough, one would think, no problem.
Yeah, just quickly on the barrier draw as well, he's drawn 10, but it might not be as bad as it looks on paper.
I don't think so. I mean, look, if you've got the horse and you're drawn wide, you can still win the race. Lord Canaloa did it, he was exceptional. But his son Danon Smash did it both from gate 14. Danon Smash was not exceptional. He was a good solid sprinter, but not a superstar, and he won from 14. I don't see it being a problem as long as the race pans out and falls right for you.
The up-and-coming sprinter here in Hong Kong is Lucky Sweynesse, and I hold my hands up when I saw him first winning round at Happy Valley. I didn't necessarily think he was going to be a contender on HKI Day, but here he is off a brilliant win in the Jockey Club Sprint last time.
Yeah, really good performance. He's the horse that's on the up. The question is, how much of a step forward has he taken since then? Obviously, Wellington, although he was beaten, he had the penalty anyway. Yeah, Lucky Sweynesse is the exciting horse in the race. That the unknown quantity of just how good is he, we don't know. We might find out on Sunday.
And the interesting sort of side story to that as well is the trainer in Manfred Mann. The team had a really exciting season with him last year, but you've got potentially Francis Lloyd training the best miler, you've got Danny Shum training the best 2,000 metre horse, and maybe Manfred Mann. 3 local trainers with potentially the 3 best in their divisions in town. Yeah,
and that just speaks to where we're at the moment with these local trainers that have come up through the ranks. They've learned from people like John Moore, like John Size, and they're very good trainers, and the local owners are putting the confidence in them.
You mentioned the Japanese winners in the past, and Lord Canaloa and Danon Smash being the recent ones. What of this year's contenders though?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to pick out a horse that you're saying is going to really come in and shake them up. There's certainly not a Lord Canaloa, that's for sure. Gendarme is interesting. If he gets out and hits the lids and gets out, he's a horse that performs really well when he does that usually. If he misses the break, you can tend to forget him. So the start is going to be key for him. He also didn't start sprinting until about 18 months ago, and he's not a young horse. So maybe there's still a little bit that we don't know about him as a sprinter. He's an interesting candidate. Naran Huleg won the Takamatsunami Yakinen. He's looked a bit skittish for me, although he did look a bit more relaxed this morning, but he certainly hasn't looked like he's settled in and loving the joint. Meke Yell, she's obviously wears all that tack, which she can be a handful.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Resistencia worked really well this morning for Joe Moreira. She was second last year after that horrible fall happened all around her. But one would think she wants maybe 1400. Maybe this will just happen a bit too quickly for her, and she'll be coming on. She's also got a tricky gait, I should point out.
Yeah. What about the Singapore horse though? He's so versatile. He's a Derby winner in Singapore, but he's also unbeaten over the 1200 metres.
Yeah, and he's not much of him either.
No.
He's an interesting horse.
But he's a bull. He's not big.
Yeah, he's not very tall, but he's got strength to him. Yeah, he's an interesting horse. We don't know quite how that form stacks up, so it's a fact-finding mission with him. But I wouldn't be writing him off for coming and running into the places, given what he's done in Singapore.
Yeah, and Dan Marcy's been very bullish about him, and Dan Beasley's been very good with his time, and talks very highly of the horse as well.
Yeah, and they were very keen to come here.
Yeah, interesting. So again, breaking it down, is it really the Hong Kong champion in Wellington to be crowned on this big day, or is the challenger, the up and comer, who'll probably go off favourite in actual fact? I say the up and comer, but Lucky Sweynesse.
Yeah, Lucky Sweynesse I think probably will go off favourite. Like I said, I think Wellington's the one you would stick with, just because we know what he can do. He's got that rating that would say in an average year he's good enough to win it. Yeah. And let's face it, it's not a great race overall. There's not that real depth to it that we've seen in the years past. So I personally would think Wellington would have the edge at this point on Lucky Sweynesse.
You're right.
But I'm happy to be proven wrong.
We will find out. Should be a fascinating contest all the same. To keep up to date with all the HKR news, make sure you head to AsianRacingReports.com.